Kyle, a goal to put the nail in the coffin of your former club, that one must have felt good.
Yeah, it was nice. Honestly, those moments are special, but it's a product of what everyone else did on the field. I think our team just battled from the first minute. We showed a ton of resiliency today, so I'm so proud of this group. Countless guys, Malik, Dan, Jas, Rama, Marco, Alex, they fought so hard for us today. They kept us in it at times, and we were under it for large portions of this game. And that's always going to happen when you come on the road against a club. Yeah, they might be in a tough moment, but there's still quality on the other side of the field. And you have to respect that. And we just dug in there. We stayed as a unit. We bent. We didn't break. And honestly, I'm so proud of this group.
Good evening, Kyle. Thank you for your time. Second year in a row that you eliminate the CF Montreal in the Canadian Cup. What does it say about your team's mentality and what you can bring to soccer?
Yeah, football and sports is a funny thing. I think you go into a lot of games and everyone decides paychecks, wages, salaries, salary cap, whatever it is, dictates a game. But we've shown year after year we have a group that is bought in. We're a collective, and when you're a collective, you can do special things. And we've played in, well, a handful of guys on our team who played today have been here since day one, and we've played in very big games. And it was funny, going into the game, a couple guys in the locker room were saying I think our average age was a lot older than Montreal's, and maybe that was just because of me and Mo. But we have experience in our group, and we believe in that. We trust in these guys, and you see it. There's moments it wasn't really going our way, but there's no panic, and you have to learn from those moments. You go through the ringer in sports, and you come out. Sometimes you fall on your face, and you just have to learn from those moments and take it in stride. And you think back to when you're a kid, and you just go out in the field and you play, and then you become a pro, and all this bullshit just changes how you show up to the game and dictates what you do. And you're worried about nonsensical boot deals and all this stuff. Just go out, compete. And right now we have a group that does that, and it makes training fun. And we're just riding that high, and who knows where we'll go from here.
Thank you. Hi, Kyle.
Come on.
One of the more unconventional reasons for stoppage of play, I don't know if that's ever happened to you before, but how do you keep the group focused? And how do you guys, especially in a game where, the same thing happened last year, how do you make sure that, this doesn't affect your momentum or your game plan anyway?
Yeah, I mean, a few weeks ago in Winnipeg, we had quite a funny game where we started, I think, 3 times because of lightning. This group's throughout games we've played in CONCACAF, going down to El Salvador, we've had these similar experiences. We had the rain delay last year in Montreal. It is what it is. It's stuff that's out of your control. And when you get wrapped up in that moment and you think it's, what are we going to do? What does this mean? When are we going to start again? Are we going to play? Are we going to not? You lose focus. And again, you control what you can control. You just got to stay in the moment. And we knew we were going to play at some point. So there's no sense in dealing with stuff that's out of our pay grade. We got guys on our staff who can do that. You saw that huddle of the powers that be at the halfway line during that break. And we knew we were going to play at some point, so boys just kept it easy, kept it light, and get ready for whenever we have to go.
Hi, if I'm mistaken, you haven't lost a game all year. Does that play into the mentality when you're down? Like feeling like whatever, we always get out of these situations and feeling like invincible. Does it play into it?
Yeah, I mean, there's a sense of belief for sure. There's been a handful of games this season we've had to turn around. We've been down and we've it's been the spark that we needed to come together and fight, and whether we turn a loss into a draw or a draw into a win. And those are things that you can build on. It brings the group together. And as you said, there is a sense of belief. And sports is funny that way. When you believe, it's like this superpower that you don't even know you had it. It allows guys to just stay in it versus you have 10 minutes left and you're like, there's no chance, we can't do it. You just stick together. But on the other side of it, we knew it's a 2-leg tie. There's an aggregate. Okay, you're down 1-0 in this game, but it's 1-1. So we just got to see it out. And as ridiculous as it seems, is going into these games, playing against an MLS club, is everyone always writes us off. We're the underdog, so we're playing without any of the pressure that the other guys have. And again, that's another one of those funny things in sports that you can't really put it into a statistic, but it weighs on you.
Hi, Kyle. You guys played in the CONCACAF Champions Cup last year, but at the start of the season, is it an objective for you guys to come back, especially with this result tonight against Montreal?
Yeah, I think the ownership group we have, the coaching staff we have, there is an expectation when you're playing for Forge that you're playing for as many trophies as possible. This has obviously been a tournament that's eluded us. We've had a ton of highs in this competition. We've fallen short a few times. We've lost some PKs to big clubs over the years, good clubs. And so we felt, it's always something that is a target at the beginning of the season. And coming into this competition, every other team is saying the same thing, right? So you have to respect that. But yeah, this is something. It's a cup trophy in your country that we can be proud of. It's another way to get birthed into the Champions League. So you have to take it serious, and it's something we want to do good in. And these are games that guys on our team take very seriously because it's a chance to show who they are. And I think we have a handful of players, more than a handful of players on our team who are fantastic players, and I think you've seen it over these 2 legs.
You were talking about being underdog. Does that bother you still today? No. that you're being labeled underdogs in those matches?
If I was worried about that stuff, I'd be retired long ago. My career is obviously a funny one. It's not a unique one. I think it's pretty common in sports. When you first get that first contract laid in front of you, you only think it's going to go up from there. There's no chance you can have a low. You're young, you're dumb. You just think, okay, I'll go through my time, I'll get the next one, I'll get the next move. But the reality is it doesn't always work like that. But if you sat there, if you listen to everything, no offense, that you guys wrote, yeah, there's no chance. But I fell in love with this game at a very young age, and I wanted to keep playing. I don't want to work at a desk. I got to put my boots on and play every single day. So I'm going to try and do it as long as my body can, as long as my coaching staff will let me, as long as my wife will let me, and we keep going from there.
All right, we're going to go ahead and get started right away. Please raise your hand if you have a question.
Good evening, Coach. Thank you for your time. Congratulations on the win in the qualification. How would you explain your team's result tonight, which is a draw, and the qualification for your next round?
Yeah, when you play in cup competitions, there's always in 2 legs. You have to look at one and the other a little bit differently. Coming to this one, we obviously have an advantage. Montreal's having a tough time. That's not a secret in league play. So we really wanted to frustrate them and create space in moments. First half, I thought it was very good. Not only on the ball, but off the ball, we're very resolute and basically minimized any of the opportunities that they had. Obviously, we knew that today they were going to give us their best. This is a game, a little bit of the season for them, playing at home. So I just asked the guys to do what they do best and rise to the occasions, as we do as a club, and we have been doing over 7 years, and stick to the game plan. And yeah, the guys did a great job with that. We've gone down. We haven't put our heads down. It's easy to do when you're playing away from home. The opponent has the crowd behind them and all that energy that goes into the game. And we've spun the game with 2 brilliant goals from 2 brilliant players for Forge over the last 7 years.
Thanks so much. Hi, Bobby. Seemed like after that break, Montreal kind of almost had a little bit of new life. They finally got the first goal. How important is it for not just your back line, but especially your goalkeeping, to come up with really important moments like that to kind of keep it at 1-1?
Yeah, to be honest, it's interesting for those who were here last year. We had quite a long break last year as well, and that gave Montreal a little bit of extra momentum. It gives a team that's got to do a little bit more, maybe some more time to talk about things, to see things. As a coach, you see the first 5 minutes of the second half, they change things with Sealy inside, and you give yourself another reset, and I think that's important for the team. And we saw that last year as they came out very quick, and they did the same thing on this one. The more time you can think about what you need to do, it helps. For the team that's at the advantage, it helps that the game keeps on going. So that's the one thing I've always learned, because we've had a lot of delays playing in CONCACAF and different places in Central America over the years. So, that's some of the experience we talked about with the guys. And something we talked about before the game, it's no game goes your way all the time. So you're going to have adversity in it. In this game, you're possibly going to have adversity. It's how you respond. We made some changes. Masunda, again, has been brilliant for us, the young man who's probably 8 games into his professional career. It was energetic. Borges, who's an important player for us and unfortunately has been injured for the big part of the season to start, slowly been getting games. And when you have guys like that who can come in, make a difference, provide the energy, you have an opportunity to win the tie, win the 2 legs, and that's what we've done.
2 years in a row now that you come here and beat Montreal. This is the Canadian Cup. How sweet is this one? And do you feel like the gap is closing between the CPL and MLS?
Yeah, I think I've been here now, 4 years in a row, and I think I remember 4 years ago, one of your colleagues in here asking, when do you think a CPL team will beat a team? And it's not saying when, it's going to happen. It's normal, and that's nothing against Montreal or any of the MLS teams. I always think that the gap is not that big. Where the gap is big is in the finances. I'll be honest with you guys. There's some excellent players playing in the CPL, and we've got an excellent group of them. I've been blessed to work with these guys and push them to the limit. That when you're playing in Champions Cup, when you're playing in these competitions, we don't play to the opponent, and we try and keep our brand, or at least what we want to impose on the game. And if you do that enough with the players, they never think about the opponent. And that's something that I always try and preach to the players. I always say we have an 80-20 rule. 80 is on us and 20 is on the opponent. It doesn't matter who you're going to put in front of us. Because when you look at these games, yeah, there's a bit of a difference. But a lot of times it comes down to tactics. If the players want to key in on the tactical side of things, then you're always going to give your chance of winning this game, this tie, or any game in this scenario.
Bobby, this is again, like previously mentioned, this is the second year you've beaten Montreal. CPL team is guaranteed to make the final this year. You've played in CONCACAF Champions Cup. At what point, I don't know if you've considered this personally, but promotion and relegation, at what point do you think it's a very real and sustainable thing? And what would you like to see in terms of the future of that possibility?
Yeah, I think that's always something you want to see. Remember, it's not my money. I don't own the teams. I don't pay the bills. But the organic growth of the game is important. As the Canadian Premier League, the league that we're part of, we're Canada's top division. Montreal, Toronto, Vancouver play in MLS, which is predominantly a U.S. league. So I don't see how that works. But I think the Canadian Premier League, over the next 10 years has a great opportunity to be able to do that and grow the game. You got to do it right. You can't do it too quick because you want to make sure that you have the infrastructure. You look at Forge, and part of our success is, we've got an excellent setup at Hamilton Stadium back home, and what these players have, when they come into work every day, there isn't much difference than many places in the world. And they can focus on being their best. So in order to get to that point, we just need to make sure that all of the clubs have that. Give the ability for the players to reach their potential, because that's the most important thing. And once you have that, I think then you'll have the organic growth. And I think what's exciting in football is, promotion, relegation. I think what's exciting about this tournament is that there's a team that moves on and there's teams that doesn't. So the more we add to that, I think it's always better for the game, and it challenges us a little bit more as coaches. You're not as comfortable losing a game.
Coach, you had some traveling fans who came here, maybe about 50, I didn't count exactly. What does it say about your team, your club, your fans, that fans travel from that far to come here on a Wednesday night to watch this cup game?
Yeah, we got an excellent fan base back home. If you look at it, we have 6,000 to 7,000 fans at Hamilton Stadium. Obviously, some of the bigger games, it fills up a little bit more. But, part of the growth, and when we get into your colleague's question on how the game keeps on growing, part of that is supporter culture in an organic way. That's what we want to see. We want to be able to see that supporters, fans, kids, families, the diehards, let's call them, they have the opportunity to move about and support the team, and I think it's great. And whether it's 50 or 100, we've got a local derby between Forge and York, and we usually have 500 fans there, and it gives our players a lot of energy. And I'll tell you, those fans behind the goal, they did a great job for us today. Because you're always looking for them, and you always need some extra motivation as a player in what you're playing for. You're not only playing for the win, you're playing for your teammates, yourself. But in the end of the day, the joy is hearing the roar of the crowd for any player and any coach.
Sam, d'abord, merci de prendre le temps de venir nous voir. Tu sais, quand ça allait mal en MLS cette année, souvent, on vous entendait dire, on a encore la chance de gagner une coupe. J'ai l'impression que vous vous raccrochiez un peu à ça. Maintenant, pour le reste de 2025, à quoi vous vous accrochez?
Un match à la fois. Je pense qu'il faut tout simplement essayer de remporter le plus de victoires possible avec les matchs qui nous restent. C'est dommage parce qu'on n'a pas nécessairement de d'objectifs à moyen et long terme. Donc, je pense qu'il faut malheureusement se ranger vers le court terme, qui est de remporter le plus de victoires possible, d'essayer de ramener certaines belles émotions au sein du groupe, puis évidemment aux partisans qui méritent beaucoup mieux. Là. Salut.
Tu es toujours franc avec nous. Peut-être une question un peu difficile de pour toi, mais es-tu tanné de cette situation-là? Est-ce que tu aimerais que le club vous aide un peu aussi avec des renforts, le transfert qui s'en vient? Comment tu te sens vraiment dans cette situation-là?
Ouais, je suis tanné d'avoir ou de vivre plutôt des moments comme ça. C'est jamais plaisant. Je pense que le sport est un grand moteur d'émotions. Ça peut aller d'un côté où tu as envie des belles, puis ça peut aller de l'autre côté où les émotions sont moins belles. Puis cette année, malheureusement, il y a beaucoup plus de moins belles émotions que de bonnes. On peut parler en long et large de ce que nous, on doit faire, ce que le club doit faire, mais en tant que joueur, moi, je pense qu'au final, même le coach, mais c'est nous qui sommes sur le terrain. Je pense que on n'a pas nécessairement pas fait l'effort ce soir, mais je pense que c'était pas constant. Puis je pense que c'est un peu quelque chose qui revient parfois dans nos matchs. Pas nécessairement le manque d'effort, toujours. Des fois, c'est des lapsus de concentration, des erreurs individuelles. C'est un sport, donc c'est normal que ça l'arrive, mais malheureusement, ça l'arrive, je pense, trop souvent. Donc, c'est dommage. C'est dommage parce que à chaque fois qu'on a un match, on le prépare bien. Je pense que Marco travaille énormément fort, puis je pense que c'est la bonne personne pour nous. Puis tu rentres dans un match, ou même avant de commencer le match, puis tu dis, ce match-là, honnêtement, je pense qu'on peut le gagner 3-0, ou tu peux le perdre 3-0 sur justement des erreurs individuelles, manque de concentration, etc. Puis c'est ce qui est arrivé ce soir. Je pense qu'on fait un bon match quand même jusqu'à 1-0. Il nous reste encore énormément de temps, puis finalement, pas qu'on se tire dans le pied, mais on fait des erreurs où on laisse 2 frappes de l'extérieur qu'on paye cash. Donc, c'est malheureux, mais oui, je suis tanné de connaître de mauvaises émotions. J'ai hâte de pouvoir rentrer chez moi, puis d'avoir le sourire, de re-rentrer. Demain matin, on s'entraîne, de rentrer, que l'ambiance soit bonne. C'est comme ça quand on gagne des matchs. Malheureusement, ce ne sera pas le cas demain. Là.
Sam, tu viens de le dire, tu es tanné. Je pense que c'est un sentiment qui est partagé par de nombreux partisans. On a quand même l'impression que c'est souvent le même constat, match après match. Parfois, manque de réussite, parfois manque d'effort. Parfois, l'adversaire aussi qui en face vous pose beaucoup de problèmes. Mais plus spécifiquement, tu as envie de dire quoi aux partisans qui au but de Baker, sont juste partis alors qu'ils sont venus mercredi vous supporter après tout ce qu'on a entendu samedi sur la présence des fans de Miami. Ces gens-là, que toi tu entends, toi tu côtoies, comme, en tant que capitaine aussi figure, tu veux leur dire quoi?
Bon, on entend ce qu'ils disent. On entend, puis honnêtement, je comprends et je partage ça dans un sens. On entend les chants que les partisans disent qui se font chier. Honnêtement, me fait chier un peu aussi. Là. Dans le sens où on fait de bonnes choses, mais j'ai l'impression que quand les choses... quand on fait pas les bonnes choses, on les paye cash, puis on se tire dans le pied, manque de concentration, d'effort. Je pense que tu as mis le doigt dessus aussi, manque de justesse, que ce soit dans le tir offensif ou quoi que ce soit. Je pense que ça a été un peu le gros truc aujourd'hui. Mais je comprends leur frustration. Puis, tu sais, les partisans viennent nous voir, prennent leur temps, prennent de leur argent pour venir nous supporter dans les bons temps comme dans les mauvais moments. Puis encore une fois, le sport, c'est moteur d'émotion. C'est pas garant de succès non plus. Hein. Je veux dire, on se présente pas au Stade Saputo puis la victoire est garantie à chaque match. Ça, on en est conscient. Mais c'est sûr qu'on veut connaître plus de succès. Puis encore une fois, je pense que le mot, c'est émotion. Puis passion, les partisans répondent présents avec cette passion-là. Je pense qu'on doit en démontrer plus au niveau individuel, au niveau collectif. Après, moi, en tant que capitaine, j'essaie de transmettre ça, mais c'est difficile dans un sens, surtout quand ça va mal, parce que, surtout avec un jeune groupe, les jeunes, pas les jeunes, mais les joueurs plutôt se rangent peut-être un peu plus individuellement, essayent de se concentrer sur eux-mêmes, de bien faire. Puis c'est là un peu que le collectif prend le bord, entre guillemets. Donc, t'es comme un peu dans un genre de cercle vicieux où si t'as pas de confiance, t'es pas en réussite. Donc, il y a plusieurs trucs, mais non, les partisans, on les comprend, on les partage. J'ai été à leur place, entre guillemets. Je suis pas un die-hard fan comme le collectif 1642 et tout ça. Mais avant de me joindre au club, puis je le suis encore, un fan du club, puis je veux le bien de ce club-là pour la ville, parce que je pense que c'est une ville de foot. Puis malheureusement, ben, on rend pas ces émotions-là à ceux qui viennent beau temps, mauvais temps.
Salut Sam, maximum respect pour que tu viennes toujours après les matchs difficiles devant les médias. Tu sais, vous venez de perdre contre Lionel Messi dans quelque chose où on voyait qu'il y avait une différence de qualité d'un bar. Je pense que tous les joueurs, le coach le disait. Là, c'est une défaite contre un club de CPL où la qualité était supposée de l'autre bar. Il y a comme les fans sont plus fâchés. Il y a quelque chose qui se passe aujourd'hui. L'objectif de remporter un trophée n'est plus là. Comment vous sentez? Ça a pris 40 minutes entre la fin du match et que tu viennes. C'est quoi le mot? C'est quoi le vibe? C'est quoi qui se dit entre les joueurs? C'est quoi qui se passe?
Les visages sont longs. Je pense que... Ouais, c'est ce qui fait mal, c'est de ne plus avoir, comme je disais, d'objectifs long terme ou concrets plutôt. Puis c'est surtout parce que c'est entièrement notre faute. On parle de qualité et je pense que la qualité était supérieure de notre côté. Je pense qu'on cogne à la porte tout le match, mais on n'est pas capable d'enfiler justement à 1-0. J'étais super confiant. Il restait, je pense, encore 30 minutes. Puis on a mal géré ça. On se fait avoir sur, je pense qu'il frappe 3 fois au but dans pas mal tout le match. Deux de ces frappes-là rentrent. Je veux dire, à un moment donné, tu te dis, nous, on frappe 100 fois puis ça rentre pas. C'est-tu un manque de qualité? C'est-tu un manque de faire les mauvais choix, etc.? Donc, mais en même temps, oui, c'est ça. Tu rentres dans le vestiaire, tu ne refais pas le match au complet, mais tu te poses des questions. Tu te dis, qu'est-ce qu'il faut faire de plus? Mais en même temps, c'est des petits détails comme lorsque c'est le temps de mettre le tacle, le pied, l'épaule, si tu y vas à moitié, si tu y crois pas, si tu n'as pas cette passion, c'est là que tu le payes cash. Puis je pense que le premier but vient premier but contre vient un peu de ça. Là. Pressing un peu léger, puis on se fait avoir décalage après décalage après décalage, puis au final, on ne cadre pas le tireur, puis on se fait avoir. Donc, c'est difficile, honnêtement. J'ai pas nécessairement les mots. C'est sûr qu'on va laisser la poussière retomber, mais en ce moment, ça fait mal parce que l'an dernier, c'est ce qui est arrivé. On a perdu contre Forge. Cette année, on voulait vraiment pas que ça se répète. On savait qu'on pouvait faire quelque chose de bien. On prend les devants 1-0, puis finalement, on se tire un peu dans le pied, puis on est du mauvais côté. Donc, c'est dur à accepter. Surtout aussi dans une saison difficile comme ça en MLS. Donc, puis vraiment, l'objectif, c'est d'y aller un match à la fois, puis d'essayer de faire le mieux possible.
Hi, Sam. With the loss, for this tie, it feels like this is another transitional season to kind of develop some stuff and get ready for next year. From your perspective, I guess from the players group perspective in general, the team's project, where is it in your eyes, and what do you think needs to change for it to start actually bearing fruit and not just, pushing into next year?
Yeah, we've been saying a lot that, the project of the club is to sell players, but I think first and foremost is to make sure that players are performing. And I'm sorry to say that, but I don't think players are performing right now. I mean, obviously results, show that. Yes, it's collectively, but before looking at what's wrong collectively, we have to look at what's wrong individually. And I don't think the mode of the club is just sell players whenever we have a chance. Is to sell players when it's the right time, like we just did with Nathan. And right now, when season is not going well, it's tough for scout to look at us and try to get some players and show some value individually. So I think first and foremost, we have individually to look at each other in the mirror, look at ourselves, in the mirror. And after, yes, correct things collectively. But no, I believe in the project of the club. Yes, we have a young team, but it's not an excuse that average age is 19, 20, 21 today on the pitch that we lose against a CPL team. With all due respect to Forge, they're always creating problem to us. Sorry to say, but we should beat them every time we face them. That's the reality, and that's how it is. So yeah, that loss or just not going through is unacceptable, and it's not because of the project of the club. Yes, we can always talk about reinforcement and have 2 more DPs and stuff like this, but if we take today, that's no, because if we don't have just 1 DP, that we don't win this game. I think guys were on the pitch, who are good enough to make the difference and make sure we go to the next round, and unfortunately we didn't do that. Quality was there, but like I said, I think wouldn't say lack of effort was entirely at fault tonight, but at some moment it was. I would say especially second half, and then we pay cash those moments that we didn't, answer present. Merci, thank you.
Et merci pour votre patience, messieurs. Ça a pris un peu plus de temps peut-être avant que tu puisses nous parler ce soir. Est-ce qu'il y a eu un message qui s'est dit dans le vestiaire? Est-ce que tu as pu parler à tes joueurs? Et si oui, qu'est-ce que tu as pu leur dire après le match ce soir?
That to stay in this club, we need to deserve it every day. Everybody, starting from me, and this is a club that also in the past show ups and down, but every time we were on the field in the past, we were giving everything. So, and the future of CF Montreal starts from this. This was the message.
Do you feel that tonight they did not give the best effort, like you just said?
Of course, we didn't give the best, because if we gave our best, we were going to win.
Marco, un petit mot pour les partisans qui viennent, qui sont là, toujours là, ils sont là, ils chantent, ils vous supportent. Un petit mot pour les partisans.
I'm so sorry, like I said the other times, and it's not about, like I said, the game, the performance, because we can talk technically, tactically. We did the game we prepared until 1-0, until the 1-1. It's more about the desire, and of course we desire, but there is desire and desire. I think we need, like I said, it's very simple situation. So I'm sorry, and I will try all my best in the future to try to have a team, also me, that try to give everything. There's nothing more to say.
Marco, quand on s'est parlé le vendredi, tu me disais que c'est comme une finale. Si les joueurs ne sont pas motivés, s'ils n'ont pas le désir, ben, ils n'ont rien à faire là. Est-ce que tu as vu des joueurs qui n'avaient rien à faire là dans ton effectif ce soir?
No, like I said, if we go in question talking about the game, because you talk about the effective, game, and we were in the game. So we scored 1-0 in one of the 3-4 big chances that we had. And we had 2 big opportunities to go 2-0. And then, like every game, more or less already, we do some big mistake. And they had 2-3 players with quality, and then they did 1-1, and then we tried to come back on the game, but we didn't have the energy and the subs probably also to restart from where we were before the 1-1. This is the game, and we're prepared to push and to push also at the end if we need it, but we didn't have this energy to do it.
Marco, you said that what needs to change for this club moving forward? What needs to change? Do you need est-ce que tu as besoin de renfort dans les prochaines semaines? Est-ce que c'est ça qui va devoir changer? Est-ce que tu penses que tu as l'effectif pour être compétitif en MLS et pour la suite?
Yeah, but Francois, listen, I don't want to do news here. We just lost a game that we put everything in the last 4 days. In 3 days we have another game, and we need to arrive at the end of the season with the energy and with the players that we have and with the coach that we have. And I'm doing my best. Probably have to do more than my best. But for sure something has to change. No, we cannot come here and lose against Forge. That played very well. It deserved to go through. And that's it. Just we need to go to do more, and I am the coach, so I am the responsible to have players that give more, and also me. This is very simple. I don't know what we need to change. It's just finished the game 10 minutes ago. So.
Une question. Escobar a connu un bon tournoi à la CONCACAF. Il a été habillé ce soir. Qu'est-ce qui a motivé votre décision de ne pas le faire jouer? Est-ce qu'il y avait un scénario de prévu en disant si on prend les devants par 2 ou 3 buts, on va lui donner des minutes? Je veux t'entendre là-dessus.
But there are many motivation, many reasons. Can give you two. One that I don't think it's completely fair for the guy that is 18 years old to jump for the first time with this team inside the field at 20 minutes before the end in a push scenario where it's not the real best scenario for him to show his quality, that has quality. So first is for the guy, and second is for tactical. So at the end, we couldn't go through in the middle. That is the quality of Olish. But we needed to go wide and probably cross. This is the reason I put Tom on the field and Jules to try to go a bit more crossing and try to win the second ball there. But then we conceded the 2 action. So it was a double reason. But I was on the bench because with others tactical situation, I could use him.
Hi, Marco. This is, Prince had a very difficult start to the season. Now he's got 6 goals in his last 5 games. And, I just wanted to maybe get your take on if you've seen him change anything about his methodology or if there's anything that you've seen that's led to, this gain in confidence and this production.
Okay. So usually I like to talk about individual and imagine tonight. How happy are you to answer your question? But for the respect, I answer you. And I said before, and this I was right, that Prince was a lot of time in a situation where he could score, and he didn't. And all of you here were attacking him. And I said, it's just a normal process for a forward. Some good period, you can score 3 goals with 2 chances. Some other period, you can have 10 chances and don't score. This is normal. But Prince playing like he's playing for the team defensively and offensively is going to score 15, 20, 25 goals a year because we create a lot of chances every game, even if at the end, sometimes or often we lose. So he's giving us a lot defensively, and the team is giving him a lot of possibility to score.
Sur le match, Marco, je suis convaincu que tu avais pratiqué contre un bloc bas, qui allait faire de la contre-attaque. Ils ont été bloc bas, ils ont fait de la contre-attaque. Qu'est-ce qui a manqué? Qu'est-ce qui a fait que ce que vous avez pratiqué n'a pas donné une victoire aujourd'hui?
What you said, and also the possibility to attract them when they have the ball. But then we conceded a goal in defense. Was there. Was just everybody has his position. We just out of the box we conceded him to shoot the first goal, and the second one we were like everybody watching a player that was shooting out of the box. Everybody was there. Was not counter attack, no? Oh, am I right? Was counter attack?
Je pense que le match, pas juste les buts, le match au complet.
No, complet is that we knew that they could stay there. And we find our weapon to try to go through. I think that we went through very well without risking anything against a low block. And that we considered when we were 1-0 not against a low block. So it's a mistake, like all the season. Individual mistake that the team cannot solve, cannot recover. But it's not the night to talk about tactical things and stupid things because it's not that things important. We had to go beyond these little things, little tactical things, the little mistake, because we could do more and we can do more. I'm just a bit of thinking too much about the first leg because for the emergency that we arrived at that game probably was not the best thing there, and also there we made a big mistake on the goal, and probably with a better performance there, the first leg was the different things right now. But after, it's easy to talk.
Marco, question un peu générale pour ta préférence en tant que coach. As-tu préféré la première mi-temps de tes gars ou la deuxième? La première où vous n'avez pas beaucoup créé offensivement, mais défensivement, vous n'avez absolument rien laissé à Forge. La deuxième, vous avez vraiment pilonné le but de Forge avec une multitude d'occasions pour aller chercher 3, 4, 5 buts. Mais ces deux erreurs, ou en tout cas ces deux situations dont tu parles, qui ont conduit au but de la mi-temps.
No, it's another tactical question. I mean, it's not also fair to talk about this because we didn't manage the momentum. We went 1-0 and we deserve it to be 1-0, and we continue to do our game. We knew that we could concede something, but the 2 goals was really individual mistake and good quality of the shooter because they actually deserve to. But I didn't find in all the game the desire to, as soon as we approach the box, no, the real desire to shoot, to score, no. So we were there playing well, just not risking, and but it was only a sensation. I didn't have the time to watch the game, but I don't think it's a game where tactical or technical things are so important. So it's more that we needed to do more in 180 minutes. This is for sure.